Ooh, ooh. All right, y'all. Let us focus. Let us bring it in. My phone seems to be doing some glitchy stuff, so we'll see how well this goes. Before we get started, hi, how are you? How you doing? It's been a minute. It's been a hot minute. And by a hot minute, I mean the last time I did a vlog video like this was 4 weeks ago. I just checked. How are you? How are you feeling? I hope that you had an amazing weekend. I hope you've had an amazing week. I hope that you're feeling great. I hope that you're feeling loved. And I hope that you know that you are incredible. And that there really is only one of you out here, at least as far as I know. So, I mean, once we get into multiverse theory, I can't help you there. But, I mean, you really are out here being cute and unique and doing your thing. So, it's nice. That's nice. I hope you're doing good. Before we get started, I've been really bad about drinking my water. So, let's drink some water together. If you have some water, drink some water with me. If you don't, feel free to pause the video and go get yourself some water and drink it. If you don't have water, a smoothie, a green tea shot, some vitamin C water, something that is beneficial to your body. I mean, I guess if you want to drink something else that's crazy, I'm not going to judge you. I look and I don't judge. But let's drink together. Let's lock it in for the video. Very nice. So, the reason I'm saying let's lock it in for the video is because I had very sharp mind. I was very locked in, and then like maybe 15 minutes ago I realized I was getting some serious brain fog. So I was moved to make a video today, a vlog style video, talking about, you know, what's been up with me as I usually do. And before that I was making everything happen, and now I think it's the spa music. I think that's what's happening. I like to play no ad spa music when I do these videos sometimes because it gives something in the background for us to listen to. So, last time I believe I was talking about like manifesting type things, no planning, and just kind of updates. And I feel like doing these once a month is good because they're so long, so I have an opportunity to talk about everything that's been happening. So, I guess the place that I'll start is where do I want to start? Where do I want to start with bringing you guys in on things? Yo, it's December. I don't know when you're watching this, but it is officially, at the time that I'm recording, it's December 21st. It is the winter solstice. Maybe that's why I have brain fog. I know there's a new moon either happening soon or coming. So maybe that's what it is, but I don't know. It could just be my brain is foggy. I don't know. But it has been a crazy year. It has been a crazy year. I remember December 2024 being like, 2025 is going to be my year, and I was not wrong. It was my year, not in the way that I thought it was going to be, right? Like, I thought I was going to win the lottery. I thought I was going to be, I was going to find out that some super wealthy person who had been watching me for a long time and quietly supported me was going to, you know, pass away, and I was going to get a letter in the mail like, hey, so this person, they put you in their will, and this person made X gajillion dollars. You know, I was hoping that I was gonna get that call, that I was gonna be, oh hey, like you got something and now you can move to your current dream location in the US, at least, Boston, Massachusetts. And my soulmate, if you've seen any of my other like talking videos, the soulmate idea comes up. It'd be out here doing its thing. So I really thought that was all going to happen this year. And what I was met with was a year of spiritual and internal working. like, I know some people have said it was the year of the snake in 2025. And I think in the Chinese, I could be wrong, but I think in Chinese culture it was actually the fire snake, maybe? I'm not entirely sure, but a snake is involved. That's the symbolism of 2025. And so if you add the numbers 2 plus 2 plus 5 together, you come out with 9. And 9 represents the closing of chapters. It represents the end of a journey. It's you did it. Your you did it moment. And now 2026, 6 plus 2 plus 0 plus 2, you add all that together. And when I say add it all together, the way that, like, if this is the first video of like a person who does metaphysical, spiritual, wah-wah stuff, woo-woo stuff, not wah-wah. Wah-wah is a gas station here, and I could use a panini from there. That might be dinner. Like a pepper, sorry. 2 plus 2 is 4, plus 0 is 4, and then 6 plus 4 is 10, and then usually what you'll do is you'll add those two numbers together, so then 1 plus 0 is 1, and of course 1 represents leadership, new beginnings, a journey begins, you know, we're powering up, power on, like we're making stuff happen. And 2025 definitely felt like, for me at least, there was a lot of foundational work that I started in 2024, in October 2024, and I talk about it all the time in these videos because that really was the month and the year that I got really serious about my own ideas of what spirituality is, you know, working with metaphysical things. That was when all that started. And then January 1st, 2025, everything from that point forward was spiritually based for me. That's when I started really trying to work with my intuition and make sure that I was connected to my intuition. That's when I started getting communication from spirit to really focus on staying in the present moment, not trying to rush. And in 2024, I did something I did something. It was like a little spiritual ritual that I did, where I essentially sacrificed my idea of what my future should be. And instead of doing things specifically to have the future, doing things that feed and edify my inner child and my inner teenager primarily. And that was really hard because I've always been a person, and you may be this way as well, but I've always been a person who, working hard to get to a goal, that was what I was taught. So that's what I replicated. And once spirit was telling me, yeah, that's enough of that, you're gonna slow down and you're gonna be in the now, it sucked so much at first, and I've talked about this before, but I guess in this video we're starting off with kind of like a recap of this year, because like it's crazy. I was literally doing, a year ago, I was doing videos in the closet over there. I was sharing a room with my sister, and I was feeling very trapped and very unsure of my life and my future and what I was gonna do. And now things have changed, and like compared to like the ideas of what I wanted to happen, like all of the stuff that I listed that I wanted to happen, other things have happened, and they have been infinitely more influential and important than the stuff I thought I wanted to happen. Here's what I mean by that. I'll explain. Forgive me if I'm all over the place. Again, we were working with brain fog today. I'm sorry if my screen is doing glitchy stuff. The current phone that I have is like 6 or 7 years old. The phone that I have is pretty old, and as a result, I just ordered myself a new phone. I don't usually like buying new things until the things I have are falling apart because I've had them for so long. And my phone is literally falling apart, and my charger is randomly not working sometimes. So, but I feel like everybody deals with that at some point. So I'm not too stressed, but I do need my phone to work because I use it a lot for the gig that I do. Man, going off on those little tangents always distracts me from the original point that I was making. Yes, an example. 10 minutes and 23 seconds as I'm saying this. 23 is one of my lucky numbers, and 10 is one of my lucky numbers too. I forgot about that. So, one of the big things that I wanted to happen as of, let's just say December of 2024, January 2025, I wanted to stream. So if this is the first video of that you're seeing of me, and this happens a lot, I get a lot of first time people on the channel. So if you're watching this video and you've seen my content before and you're like, how come in almost every video she says, if you haven't seen my videos before? Because I'll usually get people who will watch a video and then they go and I never see them again. They don't they don't subscribe, they don't follow. Not that I feel like they need to or that I want them to. I would love if they did, but this particular space is for just communicating things, and if it resonates with you, it resonates with you, great. You take what you can, you go. If it doesn't, you forget about it, you move on. 11 minutes and 23 seconds to say that. So it's not like a requirement that people follow, which is why I always want to, put that caveat of, if this is the first video of mine that you're seeing, I like streaming on Twitch. My name on there is TatothePenguin, and I have been streaming video games. Yesterday I streamed for the first time in a month, and the reason being is because I wanted to stream whenever I wanted to. Within reason. Or not within reason, whenever I wanted to. I wanted to be able to stream as long as I wanted to in the evenings, because that consistency and showing up 12:12 on the clock as I'm saying this is really important when it comes to your viewership if you're streaming on Twitch. And so at the very beginning of this year, I had this goal, and the goal was that I wanted to become a Twitch streamer. I wanted to stream on Twitch and play video games, and something that I asked Spirit was, is it possible? It would be great if I could get paid to play. I would love to do that. And so imagine my shock and thinking things were not going the way I wanted them to when I ended up getting a gig. I call it a gig. In another video I explain, I try not to say work or job because it does make it feel, because of the language and verbiage that was used growing up for me, saying job or work when it comes to something means that you're having to do it and you have no choice. And I didn't like how that felt. So I call it a gig because that's fun. Like, gigging is fun. Or volunteering. Because even though I'm getting paid, like, I'm choosing to be there. It is an active choice that I am making. And I love that. I feel more empowered, so that's why I use that verbiage. But I really wanted to stream, and then I got that job or that gig, and I was very, very happy about it. However, I was like, well, now that's gonna cut into my streaming time, but the gig is part-time. So I was like, oh, well, I can still stream in the evenings. And my sister lived here. Lived as in past tense. I have been sharing a room with my sister since we moved into this apartment complex, which I think it's been over a year now. It's gotta be. We've had to have been here at least almost 2 years now. And if my memory serves, because I don't know if you've experienced this year, but my sense of time is complete trash right now. Like, I'll be like, oh yeah, that happened last week, and somebody's like, no, that was yesterday, fam. And I'm like, I don't know what's happening. But while my sister was here, because I wanted to be conscientious of the fact that I was sharing a space with another person, I only streamed if she was not here. So when she was in classes, when she was in school, in college, I would stream when she was in class before I got this gig. And then if she went out with friends, then I would stream. Or if she was going out and she was like, hey, I'm just gonna be out walking, then I would stream. But I didn't want to constantly ask her if I could stream, because I knew she would say yes most of the time because she supported my want to stream. But I knew that there are days where she was tired and she didn't want to have me in the background, this bright light on, this light, all of my stuff going, you know, and I'm laughing and carrying on and, like, you know, doing stuff that you do as a gamer. And so I had long periods of time where I wouldn't stream because I didn't want to ask her. 15 minutes and 23 seconds on the clock as I said that. My sister moved out a week ago today. She graduated college. She looked amazing. She looked beautiful. She worked so hard. She graduated. And then she moved out. Now currently she's out doing her thing, and I'm very happy for her. And I try not to give all of her business because, again, I signed up to do these videos. Nobody else in my family did, so. But she's out happy AF. She's doing her thing. And so now I have this whole room to myself. So guess what I get to do? I get to stream as long as I want because I'm not sharing a room with a person. And here I thought at the beginning of this year that the only way that I would be able to stream whenever I wanted was if I got my own place. Spirit said, everything that you are asking to happen, this applies to you. Everything that you are asking to happen or that you want to happen can happen. But 9 times out of 10, it's not going to happen the way you want it to or the way you expect it to. Life is meant to be lived and enjoyed and experienced. And when we're experiencing it, more than most of the time, we're experiencing it for the first time. This is our first time living certain things. So when people are like, act your age, I have seen people on social media be like, well, yeah, this is the first time I've ever been 50, or this is the first time I've ever been 21, and it's gonna be the last time. That's what's so interesting. It's like, I was about to go off on another tangent, but again, the brain fog, so I wanna make sure that you get this in particular. The thing is, the things that you are wanting, the spaces that you are wanting to go to, the people that you want to be around, the person that you want to be with, the life that you want to live, you can have it. And odds are, when you focused and you sat there and you said, I have this thing. I put myself in the feeling place of already having this thing. It's already there with me. I'm already at the same vibrational frequency as that thing. Everything started moving into motion. Now, something interesting that I don't know if I talked about in my last video that I did was that for me and my journey and my path, 18 minutes and 8 seconds on the clock as I'm saying this, for my journey and my path, when I asked for things, I started saying, I want the feeling that that thing brings. It doesn't have to be that thing. And the reason I was talking to Spirit about this is because when I thought about it, I was like, well, why would I really want that thing? And I think I did mention this in my last video. And it's like, for the most part, when there are things that I would like, it's a feeling that I want. So the whole reason that I want the soulmate and I'm on this soulmate journey and I believe and feel that I'm on this journey is because of the feeling that is going to give me. That's what I want out of it. That's really what I want. If I felt loved, if I felt supported, if I felt seen, if I felt heard, if I felt nurtured, if I felt cared for, then I wouldn't be yearning for a soulmate because I'd already feel those things. So during like a meditative talk with Spirit, I was like, no, yeah, actually, I'm okay not having the things if I can get the feeling. I can do that. Not everybody wants that. And I'm not saying that you should want that. I'm just saying my thing was, listen, let's get to brass tacks. Let's get to the real. I just want the feeling. That's really the big thing. And then if the physical thing finds its way to me, great. So I find it interesting that my sister moves out, so I can now stream any night that I want for as long as I want. I streamed last night and I was on stream for probably about 5.5 hours. I love longer form streams. I enjoy it. If you're interested, my link to my Twitch channel is maybe in the description of this video, so you can come over, you can just see, you don't have to follow me, you don't have to send me anything or do anything. You can literally come by if you enjoy having background noise and you enjoy watching people play video games, or maybe doing other stuff on stream, because I actually now also have the space to set up to do some other stuff, because like my desk that I have right now, there's not a lot of space to work with. So like if I wanted to do a stream where I like showed you guys me making a cosplay, like if I was making a costume or something, I don't have the space to do it here. However, I have the space to do it in the rest of the room, and now that it's just me here, I can do that. That is not something I thought I would do so soon. Like I just started streaming like what, January of 2025? I say just. That was a year ago. No, I started streaming February. It was in my birthday month. February of 2025 is when I started streaming. And I thought I would need to have been streaming for many years before I got to the point where I could do what I am capable of doing now, what I have the ability to do now. And that's crazy. I've definitely taken quite a bit of time off of streaming. Like I've had the pot shots that I was telling you about, but for the most part, I didn't realize that even though it was consistent for 6 months, because I tracked it, it was consistent for I think 7 months, and then that consistency went away because there was other stuff happening in the house, so streaming at the same time every week was not as feasible. But I have been streaming for like a year now. That's so cool. That's really cool. But anywho, ew. But anywho, so that was one thing that I thought I'm only going to be able to experience this and feel this if it happens the way that I want it to. Another thing was feeling the independence of living in my own spot, right? Because I currently live with my parents. Since my sister moved out, I realized that very frequently I was leaving locations to come back here as quickly as possible to be around my sister. And with her being gone, this 23 minutes on the timer as I'm saying this is the first time ever that I have been doing things for me when I feel to do them. Once I'm done for the day at my gig, I don't immediately just come racing back to the apartment because people may need me to cook or other people may need this. And then found out from Spirit, people didn't need me to do it. I just made myself that person because I thought that that's what everybody wanted. It was an expectation, and it was a result of me being an abandoner of self, aka a people pleaser. And so now when I get done with my gig, I take my time. Sometimes I'll go out to dinner, or I'll go and I'll get like a little sandwich and I'll sit in a park or something, or I'll go for a walk, or I just chill. Like every moment that I have started living, it's intentional, and it feels good to be living on purpose. It feels really, really good to be living on purpose. For those of you that are new here, I'm a crier, so if that makes you uncomfortable, I'm sorry. But then again, no, I lied, I'm not sorry, because emotions like that, I don't know, that's a big part of of existing, is being able to experience emotions, and I love that shit. So, since January 1st of 2025, I wanted to get paid to play. So, I've just told you, I did a lot of playing. I did a lot of streaming. I did a lot of hours Twitch actually did a recap, kind of like how Spotify does, like the Spotify Wrapped. They kind of did a Wrapped, and I was in the top 10% of a couple of games. I was in the top 10% of people that played those games on Twitch last year. And then I got an email that I was one of the top, was it 10% of people who use Twitch to stream? So it was the top 10% of a couple of games, top 10% of Twitch, and I'm not like, it's not that this is impressive, I have a point here. And then I had an email, and I got that email a couple months ago. I think it was a couple months ago. And essentially Twitch sent me an email and it said, congratulations. Like, you officially made your first paycheck from streaming on Twitch. And when I tell you, when I started streaming in February of 2025, and I have that stream saved, it was 2 hours long, and the first hour of that stream was me trying to get my sound to work on my computer where I could hear it and the audience could hear it. And it was embarrassingly long. It took me so long to figure that out, but one of the people who followed me on here, if you're watching this, Azuki, I appreciate you, helped me with the sound and stayed with me through the whole thing as I got it set up. I was in a completely different area of the room. That was back when I was wearing wigs on stream, because I was like, yeah, I like the wigs. I kind of want to do a persona thing, and now I don't do that no more. My penguin wears the wigs now. I like that. You look good. You look good, kid. So I got that email, and I thought and said to my parents, I want to stream. And the thing about streaming is I know that it could take me 5 or more years before I actually see any type of monetary like feedback. If I get any money from the process, I know I'll be doing this kind of in the hole for the next 5 years, was my thought. So you already know, your girl was lit as fuck when I saw that I actually got paid. I got paid. And I don't have a lot of followers. I think I have like 58. At the time of getting paid, I think I had 63. And then I didn't stream for like a month. And but when I got paid from that, by the time I got paid, I was in the mental headspace of, this is for me to enjoy. I'm streaming because I want to do it, not because I have to do it, and not because I'm doing it because I want to get paid. I just want to do it because I enjoy it, and I'm fed by doing it. And it was once I was in that headspace, I let go of the whole, I've got to make money, this has to be a job thing. And once I let that go, that's when the money came. So, I actually did get paid to play this year. And then, what else? What else has happened? What else did I want? The soulmate journey has been interesting because I was like, well, this year, clearly, I want to meet my soulmate. In the last video, I remember talking about this. So I told you guys in the last video, if you've seen the last video, you remember. If you haven't, I'll give you like a brief rundown. So I came upon the realization that every time I have sat down and I've asked for something and I've truly believed it was going to happen, and then after I said, I believe that I have this, all that good stuff, and then I forgot about it and moved on and did other stuff, it took anywhere from 2 to 6 months for that to manifest in my life, for it to happen. All of the times where I've asked for things, or I said I really want these things, and they didn't manifest, or I didn't see anything of them to my recollection, there was a lot of doubt involved. And not just doubt as in, is this gonna happen? Because this seems lofty. But it was the type of doubt of, no, it can't happen. That's impossible. And we know that you can't be like, I'm completely open and I believe this is happening, and also think this is impossible, it's a sham, it's a scam, it's not gonna work. You can't think both of those things at the same time and expect anything to come out of that. Like, that would be odd for you to think that. I thought that, and it was odd for me to think it. I was the fool. So the soulmate journey's been interesting because I was like, well, I realized there's been a lot of doubt there that I've had about it, about the nature of that. But everything that I've done spiritually this year in regards to that has made me more aware of particular characteristics that I have that in a relationship could frustrate my partner. I've been made aware this year of areas and blind spots that other people helped me see. I've become far more aware of things that I didn't know that in a relationship you have to do if you want it to be beneficial for both people that are in it. And if I had just met my soulmate this year, yeah, sure, I would have figured all of that out, but I would have figured it out the hard way. Like, I've been seeing this so much everywhere, and people are like, yeah, so when you finally get into a healthy relationship with a person who actually, like, you know, works on themselves and things are going well and you're being treated well, that's when a majority of your toxic traits like to, like, ta-da! Like, that's when they like to come out and they like to show face. They're serving. Because in a safe, healthy environment, that is when you can be your most authentic self in a relationship. And spoiler alert, if you're watching this at this point in the video and you're still here, you have some toxic ass habits. You've got some stuff that are problematic and that could be problematic in your relationship. That's just how it works. That's how it works for us all. And in a healthy relationship, that is when we realize, oh, well, did I not do as much work as I thought I did? And it's like, no, you did, but you need to be in a relationship with a person once you get to a certain point. Because that person is going to challenge you in a way that other people usually don't. Our romantic partners, or the people that we are very intimately close to, and intimate doesn't have to mean physical. It can just mean living together, sharing a space, talking on the phone all the time. Those people see us at our worst. Because we can't, it's not really possible for us to hide well, especially under pressure, consistently for many, many years. That is very difficult to do. The people who are able to, and other people find something out and they're like, I had no idea. It's not because the person was that good at hiding. It's because the people who had no idea were not paying attention. Sorry about it. That tends to be the case. Many people who I have heard, they've been like, oh, I didn't know that this person had this in them, and I was appalled and I was shocked, are the same types of people who usually, they've got a lot of other stuff going on. So they're not seeing the red flags. They're not seeing the things that happen where it's like, whoop, that is indicative of something crazy happening in the future. But yes, I've learned so much about myself this year, including that I had a codependency on my sister. When she moved out and the second day that she was gone, I was bawling my eyes out randomly throughout the day. And I was like, whoa, like, I know you miss her, but why are you this torn up? Did some soul searching, did some journaling, meditated a little bit. And Spirit was like, hey, yo, buddy, you have a lot of serious codependent things you need to work on. And I'm so glad that that was introduced to me now before I got into a relationship where I would have hurt my own fucking feelings of wanting to spend every waking moment with the person that I'm with. And for me, vulnerability moment, it's because my particular brand of drama is that when I was growing up, other people were safer than being alone. Being alone was very scary. I didn't know what to do. I didn't really trust myself. And a lot of that had to do with the fact that I was not encouraged growing up to trust myself. I was encouraged to trust things outside of me. Like 34 minutes and 34 seconds as I'm talking about this, I trusted evidence. I trusted people who had degrees. I trusted people who had experience. But just trusting like a gut feeling, trusting myself, no. the entirety of 2025 has been learning to trust my intuition, because I didn't. And so when my sister moved out, I realized this is, the first time in my life that I am now fully having to be grounded in this space. If I'm having a pissy day or I'm having a bad day, there is nobody who is going to catch that as quickly as I would catch it. And nobody else is there to make me feel better. It's like, but Tato, you live with your parents. Yes. Yes, I do. I do live with my parents. But what I am saying is very true. In most cases, the two people in my life who could feel when something was wrong and who would step in to help me, and I feel so blessed and lucky to have them, not just one but two, were my sister and my best friend. And now that my sister has moved and I am without an anchor, so to speak, when I'm struggling, when I'm anxious, when I'm feeling doubtful, I now have these skills because of so much of the work I was doing in 2025. Like, when I start getting panicky now, I have set up a coping system for myself. So deep breathing, whatever affirmations that I say to myself, putting myself in physical positions, holding myself, whatever it is I need to do to help work through that. I have been working on that all year while my sister was here. And now that she's gone, I am now prepared to go out into the world as a solo unit. And I trust that I can do what I need to do for me to nurture myself and to feed myself. I think I said it in the last video. I've been saying this to everybody. It's a quote that I saw online where it says, when a bird lands on a branch, the bird's not nervous about it breaking. It's not that the bird trusts that the branch won't break. The bird trusts in its wings to keep it from hitting the ground. That is why birds land on these itty bitty ass twigs, and they're just there, and you're like, whoa, you're a big odd bird. Like, you're not nervous about being up that high? It's like, no, I can fly. Why would I be nervous? I have the skills to pay these bills. So for me, all of the training in 2025, and I did another video before this and then deleted it because I went off on a super tangent and I realized I wasn't locked into doing the video. So I was like, let me stop this video and lock it the fuck in, because you all deserve me being here with you. That's what you deserve. 2025 was all of the spiritual testing. It was all of the building up of spiritual muscles and physical muscles to be able to live the life that I asked for. I said I wanted to move out. I said I would have loved, I've been talking about moving to Boston, Massachusetts and having my own apartment or living with roommates, Or, if I meet my soulmate, I don't mind moving in with them, but I'm not planning my life around meeting my soulmate. I'm planning my life around what is the type of life I would like to live if I was going to be single for the rest of my life. I trust that my soulmate is out there doing his thing and he gonna be coming in, I trust in that process. But also, I like the life that I'm living. I'm building habits. I'm putting things into place. I am trusting my intuition. I'm feeding my inner child. I'm feeding my inner teen. So every day is a day that I enjoy, regardless of whether or not I have millions of dollars in my bank account, regardless of whether or not I have my soulmate, regardless of whether or not I'm in Boston. Every day that I live here in my parents' house, which a year ago was the worst thing on the planet for me. Like, I did not want to be here, bro. I was like, please, take me out. Like, if you've seen any of the other videos, it was a constant topic of conversation. But now, I'm so happy. And it's not because everything around me, like my happiness and feeling fulfilled, came first. Then everything started changing. So, to kind of go back to what I was saying before, I thought to get paid to stream, to have the type of streaming schedule that I wanted, to feel independent, to feel free, to feel good about my life, I thought things had to look a certain way. And the way things have been happening is not what I expected at all. At all, at all, at all. And I'm still grateful. I love the surprises. I love how things are going. So, 2025 was the year of, for me, looking at myself, observing myself, practicing, and now in 2026, the year of let's get her done, the year of hold my beer and watch this. I'm just happy I feel like it's 2026 already, even though it's December 21st. Like, I don't have New Year's resolutions. Like, I'm doing all of the things that would put me in the type of place I want to be in. I've been doing it, and I'm gonna keep doing it. I'm loving it. I'm enjoying it. But yeah, man, when my sister moved out and that codependency came out like gangbusters and was like, hey, how you doing? I'm CD. I was like, hi, nice to meet you. Why is your hand wet? Like, it was an uncomfortable realization. I didn't like it. But I'm glad that I realized that before getting into a relationship because, again, with a healthy partner, a person who is working on themselves, they take their internal work seriously, that codependency stuff is not going to fly. In a healthy relationship, for me personally, I'm not saying you have to have this or do this, but for me, in a healthy relationship, you have your separate life. You live a life outside of the person that you're with. It's actually that you live next to each other, to me. You're doing life with this person. That person is not your life entire. Because for me, if my spouse or partner was my entire life, which my ex kind of was, that is an immense pressure on the other person to always be trying to make you feel good, make you laugh, make you smile, always be there. Like, they're human. That's, to me, it just doesn't seem like a good idea to put all of your hope and your desire and, if this person's not around, I'm upset or I feel off. Like, I feel like being in a healthy relationship, in my opinion, is about the ability to stand on your own and to be on your own. And ability not meaning like physically. Like, if you need help, we all need help. That's why I think community is so important. It's so important to have community. It's so important to have people around you. Or to go and connect with people in some way, in some capacity. But like, if you are completely dependent upon the person that you're with for emotional support, for physical support, and you have not in any way tried to create healthy practices for yourself, to nourish yourself, to ground yourself in yourself. That's what I wanted to say. If you haven't done that, then the risk of heartbreak skyrockets, because that person isn't just the love of your life, that person is your life. You've literally handed over all of your happiness and joy to this person. That's my opinion. I know some people, no, my clip. I know some people would disagree with that, and I'm totally fine with that. I'm totally fine. If people have articles and they have things that are like, no, you're wrong, then I'm okay with being wrong. But that's just how I feel. When I've seen people happily in relationships doing things, they have their own lives that they live outside of each other. And when you are codependent, 9 times out of 10, it's not healthy, I would say. So realizing that after my sister left, very happy about that. Very, very happy. And I'm sure there's going to be other stuff. And I'm sure when I get in the relationship, there's going to be other stuff. I know that actually having my soulmate is not going to be an end all be all, and it's not going to fix everything. That's why I think it's so important to do you, boo boo. So yeah, that's a lot of what I've been doing. That's a lot of where I've been at. And now it's interesting. Like, I don't look towards the future with expectation and yearning and need all the time. Sometimes I still slip back into it. I'm not going to lie to you. It is difficult, especially when a majority of the people who you're around are future thinkers. They're constantly talking about their schedules. They're constantly talking about their trips and where they want to go. People are constantly asking you, are you going to be free during this day? What are you doing during this time? Like, we got to plan this. We got to do this. It's hard to be in the present because most people are not. Most people are constantly elsewhere mentally. But, what was I saying? Hack. Ha! I guess that thought's over. Wouldn't it all be great if it just blew away? Yes. All of that action. So, what else do we have? What else do we have? I'm trying to think if there's anything else I'm moved to share. Listen, y'all, 2026, I'm seeing the same types of posts that I saw in December of 2024, which is the kind of, this year's gonna be my year, and people being like, well, I hope it is because so many bad things have happened. And something that I would encourage you to do is reflect on all of the changes that you've made. You may not have $1 million in your bank account. You may not have the relationship that you wanted. But there are things that you definitely do have. There are things that you have. Even if it's the knowledge of what to do in case some shit pops off, because you had some shit pop off this year. And now you're stronger. You have the ability to deal with something that you'd never dealt with before this year, before 2025. Honoring making note, that's the word I wanted to use, making note of all of, and maybe not all, but making note of the things that you have done and that you have experienced that have given you clarity is so important. All the people who for the past 5 years said, this next year gonna be my year, and then at the end of the year we're pissed off and mad, and then we're like, well, it better be next year. Those people are not learning anything, in my opinion. I feel like they're not learning anything, because for me, all of the years where bad things happened, or I didn't get what I wanted, or something really crazy out of the, just a twist happened that was not good, that I didn't expect, anytime those things happen, I could still look back and see, okay, but I did do this better than I did last time. I did do it better. Do I want to keep doing this? No. I want to do something different. But I learned something. I think it is very important that you think about what you have learned in 2025. And when I say what you've learned, I'm not talking about, well, I've learned I need to stop dating losers. I'm talking about everybody. Or I've learned that you can't trust people. Like the edgelord stuff. I'm talking about, what did you learn about yourself as far as what you've been doing to stand in your own way when it comes to all the stuff that you want. So it's like, did you learn anything? Because if you learned something, that's good. Honestly, learning things about oneself is it's an end in itself for me. Again, I'm not in the places, or well, I can't even say that now. I used to think I wasn't in the place that I wanted to be, but I'm actually pretty good here. I'm not settling because I don't feel bad about it. To me, I feel like settling is when you look at a situation and you go, well, I'm probably not going to get anything better. So then you settle. For me, I know things that I would like, that I'm in alignment with, I'm on the path. I'm there. So I don't have to think about those things anymore. They're going to happen. That is faith. That is trust. To sit back and go, no, yeah, like that's going to happen. It has no choice. And while that's all cooking, while it's all baking, it's in the oven, 400, an hour on 400, I'm going to be over here living well, making the best of the days that I'm living, instead of looking at my days as it's all a step to get to the bigger, better deal. You look at your days as these are gifts, and I get to live this. I get to be a part of this. I get to do this whole thing. It's super cool. I love it. I love it so much. Something that I thought was interesting is that I had a little succulent plant that I've not been keeping up with at all this year. I've tried. I've forgot about it and watered it and had to repot it because it was looking all kinds of grungy, and I was like, I'm just not in a place to take care of, anything. My sister moves out and she says, I'm gonna leave my little succulent jade plant with you. And I was like, why? And she was like, because I think it would be good for you to have something else that you're also taking care of. So as you're taking care of yourself, you're taking care of this plant. And the plant reminds you to take care of yourself. And she was like, I'm giving you the impossible task of nursing this plant back to life because it was looking a little droopy. And so, it has been a week, and I wish I had a before picture, but the plant did not have baby plants sprouting out of it like a week ago. You can't, I'm about to kill the plant. You can't see it, but there's a little bud right there, and then there's a little bud right there. And so I'm taking care of this plant. He's set up this way for reasons. He's in timeout. No, I'm kidding. So it's like I'm taking care of this plant. I'm feeling good about my life. Everything is hitting. Everything's hitting. Somebody sent me a video. I think it was my best friend. And the person in the video was saying something that you should do is you should write 12 things down now on the 21st. And then cut those things up into like little fortune paper type pieces, put them in a bowl, and every day until you run out of those 12 pieces of paper, you burn one. And then the last piece of paper that's in that bowl, you open it and you read it on the new year, and that is what your responsibility is for that year. Everything else is in Spirit's hands, but that is your responsibility. And I still may do it tonight, but I thought about it, and I was like, well, all of the stuff that I wanted, I've already stated that. I've already put that out into the universe. I've put it out into the ether. So doing it again kind of doesn't make sense, because to me that's like hitting order again on your cart. Like online, you're doing shopping and you hit order and it gives you the confirmation email, all the synchronicities, and it's like, yep, we heard you. We know exactly what you want. It's shipping. We're processing your order. Everything's going well. You gonna get that. Don't doubt. And then you doubt and you're like, okay, well, let me just go in and hit order again. Let me do more stuff. It's like, why are you hitting order again? The stuff is coming. No, it's hard. It's hard to believe sometimes. Doubt be creeping up a lot. And I have to stomp it out. But that's kind of the reason I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna do that, because I saw it and I was like, oh, that's a really good idea. But something, I don't know if you experience this, if you are a person who dabbles in like the spiritual spaces on social media, something tends to happen. If I'm taking in, like if I'm watching those videos and I'm taking in too much content, I start getting an influx of things that are not for me. So it's like, you should do this, or you should do this, or this message is coming through for you, and it's really not. It's not at all. And for me, I always, because I've been really working on connecting with my intuition this year, I can always feel when it's not for me. It's like, it's about your soulmate. I'm like, whatever you're gonna say, it's not for me. I already feel it. It's like, hey, you got a big move coming. I'm like, yeah, I do, but what you're talking about, it's not for me. Like, you can get really honest when you lock it in with your intuition. You can be very honest about what you know the information is for you and the information is not for you. And it's not based on what you want to hear. It's just based on, you can feel it's not. Like a person's like, woo, you're gonna have all this stuff, or ooh, this bad thing is gonna happen. Your intuition goes, no, it won't. Or, yeah, it will. Like, I don't know. When you trust your intuition, when you work with it, I feel like it pays. It pays us very well. But yeah, it's been a very good year. So, right now, something that you could do is list some things that you're proud of yourself for doing this year. What are you proud of yourself for doing this year? I'm proud of myself for sticking with the spiritual walk, because there were many times where I didn't want to. It was painful. I didn't like it. I didn't like what I was being told about myself. I didn't like what I was having to deal with. I didn't like not getting the thing that I wanted immediately when I asked for it. But I'm happy that I stuck with it. Like that type of discipline. 55 minutes and 23 seconds as I say that. It's crazy because I can't really see the timer because I'm not wearing my glasses. So I'm proud of myself for that. I'm also proud of myself for like posting videos and streaming even when I felt like I didn't look cute. Because back in the day, that perfectionism was a bitch. I would rehearse songs that I wanted to do covers to back when I was 16, 17. I would, think about streaming or think about posting a video or a skit, and I would delete the shit out of it. Primarily because I was embarrassed. I was like, it's not perfect. It's not perfect. But I have been posting things, I have been doing videos, I have been on stream even on days where I wasn't feeling up to it. And that makes me happy. I'm proud of myself for crying more. Because I grew up with the rhetoric that emotions were bad because emotions were feminine. And being feminine was bad. You didn't want to be that. Boo. So it's like showing any type of emotion was a bad thing. And I, for many, many years, prided myself on stuffing my emotions deep down. And now I'm happy to announce to you that I cry when I feel to cry now. Like maybe a month or so ago, a situation happened where I was telling my sister I didn't feel well. And she was like, yeah, I can feel that you are backed up. And I was like, what do you mean? She was like, spiritually, I feel like there are some emotions that you need to be experiencing that you're not experiencing. And I don't know why you're not allowing yourself to. And it was crying. Like I was sad or I was emotional or I'd be really, really happy. And I'd want to cry about something I was happy about, but I didn't want to do it in front of other people because I didn't want them to judge me. I didn't want them to say something. I didn't want them to be like, okay, that you're doing a lot right now and you're crying. Yes, because I feel. Feelings do that to some people. Some people they feel their feelings very deeply. And I think it's a good thing. It's a fun life to be able to experience emotions as deeply as I get to experience them. I cry for everything and I love it. And I'm glad that I'm becoming more and more comfortable authentically experiencing emotion, even in the face of people who are uncomfortable with it. I'm proud of myself for that. I feel like I've been drinking more water this year than I've had in past years, but over the past month or so, I haven't been getting my water in. So I'm like proud, but I also am like, yeah, I would like to drink more water. I would like to get more water in my body. It helps with blood flow, with your skin. It's just so good for you. Man. The first time I ever streamed, like after that stream that I did where I was working on the sound for like an hour, excuse me, I was so nervous about that first stream. I was so nervous. I was like shitting bricks, bro. And now when I hop on the stream, I'm just super regular. I'm just super regular on there. I feel like anytime you start something new, it's not what you start with is never what you're gonna end with. It's always gonna change and adapt and adjust. If you're nervous about doing anything, like you're nervous about painting something and turning it into a competition or entering, a raffle or, going and volunteering to do something, standing up and speaking in a class. I feel like that first time you're always going to be nervous. And when you're like, okay, so I want to do this if I'm going to start doing it consistently, odds are it's going to change, evolve, and adapt based on the new level of comfort that you'll be experiencing. So like when I first started streaming, I wore wigs because they were fun. My hair was a lot shorter then, so I could wear wigs. I also tried to have like scripted intros and outros where I'd be like, hey guys, like I had like a whole thing because I saw that that's what other streamers did, other YouTubers. And what else did I do? I wanted to have like segments and stuff that I did, and I had like a whole schedule, and I had an Excel sheet. Like I think I told y'all about this at some point. I had all of this stuff together, and now when I stream, I don't use any of that. Like I have a habit of doing an intro that kind of sounds the same, like just because those are the things I think. I'm always like, hey, how's everybody doing? How are they feeling? How are you? How are you feeling? And the reason is because I want to know. Like I really do. I want to know how people who are in my chat are doing. I want to know how you guys are doing. That's why I'm asking how you're doing. If you put in the comments that you're not doing well, or that you are doing well, I like to know so that I can reach out. You know? Like, the whole reason I'm doing all of this stuff is for community. So I want to engage with the community. But, like, other than that, like, I don't have, like, a specific way that I do things. It's kind of fallen into its own thing, so I love yapping. Clearly, we are an hour into this video, and I love yapping. It's so good for my spirit. And so I'll yap anywhere from 30 minutes to an hour, and then I play some games. I may pull up some stuff I've been thinking about. You know, we get into really nice conversations in the streams, and so it looks and feels so different from when I first started. And this time, at the end of 2026, if I'm still here, and by still here, I just mean this plane of existence. 1 hour and 1 minute as I say that, it's gonna be different. Again, it's going to have evolved by that point. It's not going to look the same. When I first started streaming at the beginning of 2025, I was on that side of the room. It was a very awkward situation. The camera was faced to the entirety of the bedroom. There was nothing interesting to look at in the back. I was using my headset with a microphone, so the sound was absolute ass booty cheeks. Like, it was very different. And then I moved to a different part of the room. Still nothing behind me, but it was less of the room, and it was different. And then I ordered this microphone that I have, this very cute blue Yeti that I have. I love the way, like, it smells brand new. I just love the way that, like, this material smells. Thank you for your presence in the video. But yeah, I bought the microphone. Sound instantly got better. I got some different lighting so I didn't look sickly all the time. I switched monitors with my sister so that I could have like a different setup. Like, so much has changed, and I know it's gonna be different this time next year. So yeah, that's what's going on. I share all of that with you for me, because these are like video diaries. But also I share all of that with you because guarantee you there's some things this year that you did differently from the year before. And I really want you to look at those things, to take the time to pat yourself on the back and recognize that you did something different in 2025. Do not just say 2025 was hard. 2026 is my year, or 2025 was hard. I hope it's better in 2026. Don't just say that. An hour, 3 minutes and 33 seconds to say that. Don't just say that. I want you to look at what happened, and I want you to really internalize what that actually means for who you are becoming, for who you are. It's so easy to move past it, especially if you are a person who works really, really hard, and you're like, boom, fix that, on to the next, on to the next, on to the next, on to the next. Take the time to pat yourself on the back. Yes, it's cliche. Yes, I've said it 100 times in my videos, and I'll say it until I am blue and purple in the face. I will say it probably until I leave this plane of existence, because it is so true that so many of us are raised to just assume that the changes that we make, that the growth that we experience, we're almost trained to not look at it. That's what you should be doing. Something that my parents used to say when I was growing up is, why would I pay you for chores that you should have been doing in the house anyways? Now, I don't judge how other people raise their children, but for me, I like the idea of rewarding people, or not rewarding people. I mean, maybe yes, rewarding people, but it's not about reward. It's about patting yourself on the back and being proud of the work that you do, even if it's what you should be doing. Because honestly, here's the thing. There's a lot of stuff that we should be doing, right? But there's a lot of stuff we're not doing. There's a lot of stuff a lot of people are not doing. So am I gonna pat everybody on the back for showing base levels of empathy? Would you pat somebody on the back, or would you be like, no, like I expect that to be the case? Well, yeah, we have these high expectations, but when somebody does show empathy, why not be happy? Why not communicate that you're really grateful about it? I know some people have the mentality that if you do something too much, it teaches people something bad. So it's like something that I remember hearing that certain family members in my life said about their kids is, well, I never told them I was proud of them because I didn't want them to get a big head. Or I didn't tell my kids that I love them because they should already know. I honestly think if you have the ability to communicate, you should. You should. I know somebody who, over this past year, unexpectedly lost her mom. That was the last thing she thought was going to happen this year. The very last thing she thought was going to happen. There were no signs that that was going to be her reality. And there's a lot of stuff. She was like, yeah, I should have said this. I really should have said it. I didn't. I just assumed I had time. We all do. We always assume we have time. We assume people are always going to be around. I am so happy. Another thing I'm proud of myself for, and again, I do not stand in judgment of how people choose to live their lives and how they choose to raise their children and how they choose to deal with other human beings. There are things I would love for other people to do because it would help community. I think it would make the community better, our communities. But at the same time, I don't judge because we all came back here to live and experience and to figure this thing out. But something that I am proud of myself for doing is I had an idea to take my sister on dates. And I was like, I want to take her on sister dates while we are living together. Because I know we're not always going to be living together. A day is going to come where she's going to pack up and I'm going to look over and she's not there. Or I'm going to leave and I'm going to pack up. 7 minutes and 47 seconds as I say this, I'm going to turn around and I'm not going to be there. And I want to spend as much time with her getting to know her, strengthening our relationship, and just loving on her while she's here, enjoying her presence. Her absence is felt. Her absence is massively felt. And that's not on desperation and codependency. That's on, she's a cool fucking person. Fucking cool person. Yeah, that's probably better. I don't always know how to curse correctly. My bad. Yes, so my sister, I swear the thoughts be trying to escape. I'm gonna come back. I wanted to take her on sister dates, so I did. I would take, and there were nights where she was like, hey, I'm going for a walk. Do you want to go with me? And it was cold as shit outside. And I put on a jacket and I put on socks and I went with her. Yes, it was inconvenient as fuck. And it was inconvenient at the time because I was comfortable indoors. If she was like, hey, we should go downtown and do stuff. It's busy. That's where all the people are. There were things that she invited me to that I didn't want to go to. But I went. And I'm glad that I went because those were memories we made. Because now I'm not yearning for her to be my roommate again because I missed out on things. I'm happy that she's where she wants to be. She is living her life. And I'm happy that I am now in a new chapter living my own life. We kept comparing our lives to Lord of the Rings. It's like, yes, no, this is the part of the two towers that we're at. Like that's kind of how we looked at things. And for me, when you look at your life similarly to a movie or a book, It kind of helps sometimes. I don't know, it may help you, it may not. But for me, when I'm going through tough stuff, I always think, you know who else went through tough stuff? Frodo Baggins. You know who else went through some tough stuff? Luke Skywalker. You know who else went through some tough stuff? Harry Potter. You know who else struggled? Aragon. Naruto. Sasuke definitely struggled. Hinata from Haikyuu, he struggled. Kageyama definitely struggled. Like, Link struggled. Snake struggled in his video games. There were always moments where we thought he wasn't gonna make it. Like, there's so many characters in media that I'm like, yeah, they struggled. And they were working out all the time. And they had superpowers and they had magic, you know? Like, the Avengers struggled. Like, you know what I'm saying? It makes it kind of fun, and it gives me a way to not take life so seriously when I do that. When I'm like, oh yeah, like, all of these people had to go through these things in order to be strong enough to deal with certain things, and in order to be capable. Ooh, left ear ringing. You need to hear this. So much of what you went through in 2025 has prepared you for right now finally being able to appreciate the stuff that's there, the stuff that's coming, the stuff that's on your path that you're already gonna have. So for me, one of the biggest things I think that two big things that I think I've been being prepared for this whole time, 1 hour, 11 minutes, and 23 seconds as I say this, I think I was definitely being prepared to live alone and appreciate it. It's one thing to want it, it's another thing to live it when you've never lived it before. To appreciate, take my time, and not be afraid when arguments happen in my next relationship. To not get super triggered to the point where I can't sit down, take a couple deep breaths, regulate myself, and be there with my partner to work through issues. Like, I'm in a place where I know that's gonna happen. I know some frustrating shit is gonna take place and I'm gonna be irritated. I know it's going to happen. And I'm gonna wanna walk away from the whole thing. And I'm gonna be frustrated. Because I know me. I know how I get when I'm actually mad. I know how I get when I'm mad irritated. Like, it's like, again, like, even soulmates are not, they're not safe from reality, human beings and emotion. And in those times, I have the coping mechanisms to regulate myself and not blame my emotions on my partner and not hover over my partner and demand that we fix this situation now because I'm uncomfortable when there's conflict. Vulnerability moment. That's how I was in the past. But now, I went through training with my sister. I've been talking and meditating with spirit. And I just feel even more prepared. I feel even more prepared to appreciate that when it comes, when the time is right. So, pat yourself on the back, please. What did you learn from 2025? Do you still struggle with some of the stuff that you were talking about wanting to do at the beginning of 2025? Were there changes that you wanted to make this year that you didn't make for whatever reason? And from this point forward, what do you do now? What is the vibe of this year for you? Because you get to dictate that. Surprise, you get to dictate the vibe of 2026. People saying this is my year, I always wonder what they actually mean by that. Because 2025 was my year. I learned a lot. I grew a lot. Like, I take so many things way less seriously. I laugh a lot more than I did. And I was already like a little giggler. Like, I giggled and I chuckled. I guffawed a lot. And so now, it's up here. I'm constantly laughing. I'm constantly entertained by things. So it's like, what's the vibe you want in 2026? For me, adventure. Adventure is out there. I feel like 2025 was practice, and I feel like 2026, I'm about to be challenged in a lot of ways to use the skills that I've gained and to practice them. I know there are going to be situations that pop up with you. There are going to be situations that pop up where you start to do the old stuff again. It doesn't mean you didn't do well. It doesn't mean you didn't learn your lessons. It just means that this is something that you keep doing until that is the new norm, until that is the new habit. It's okay. Every day is a new day. Every interaction is a new interaction. I'm telling you. There are a couple of situations at my gig that I messed up. I admitted that I messed up. Nobody yelled at me, which I was happy about. My mess up was something that was fixable. Was it easily fixable? No, but it was fixable. And Spirit was like, this is pretty much most things that you're gonna deal with. It's okay to make mistakes because they're not really mistakes. They're opportunities. They're opportunities for you to get to know yourself better. For you to make different decisions about who you are and who you want to be and where you want to go. So, because this is the last vlog that I will do in 2025, my hope for you is that everything that leads you to yourself happens. That's my hope. Is that everything that brings you peace can happen. I don't want to say that that happens because sometimes the things that bring you peace those can be very heavy. So my hope for you this year is that you smile more, you laugh more, you relax more, you enjoy more. My hope for you is that you have new experiences, some that shocked you. My hope is that you engage and talk to people that are fun and entertaining, and while they are like-minded, they challenge you. They challenge your thoughts, because challenge is good for us. We like it. That's why we work out. That's why when we do things, we feel proud when we've gone through a thing. It's good for us. We like it to a certain extent. That's my hope. My hope is that you will be more authentic, or continue being authentic. And that you will follow, as my cousin says, you'll follow your goosebumps. As long as it's not harming anybody, as long as it's not harming you, that you are following that which brings your spirit life and joy. My hope is that you connect with more community. And that this is a super fun year. That's my hope. That's my hope for all of y'all. I love you guys so much. If you're watching this video and you've been with me, thank you for being with me, however long you've been here. If you're still watching and you're a new person, thank you for watching this video. Even if you're not like a part of my community, you kind of are anyways, because you're watching this video. Because my community is the force. Yeah, it's a very large community. It is. It includes a lot of people. Even people who don't think they're part of the community being there. Things are good. Life is good. So I'm gonna go ahead and send this and try to charge my phone with my little Broco phone cord. I cannot wait for my new phone to get here. I'm so excited. I want to do a photo shoot with my new phone because it's gonna be so cute. I'm so excited. I'm so ready. But I love you guys. I love you guys. And here is to a good year. Here's to a good year. Here's to 2025 coming to an end. Here's to 2026 beginning. Here's to love. Here's to light. Here's to fun, ecstasy. Here's to good friends. Here's to living well. Living well. I like that. I like that. All right, y'all. I'm gonna shut the hell up. I'm gonna upload this and it will be up tonight. Probably, maybe by 6. But yeah, I love you guys. Thank you for being here. Have a good afternoon, morning, evening, or night, wherever you're at. And do your thing, man. Do your thing. You're stronger than you think you are. You're more ready than you think you are. It's gonna be okay. Everything's gonna be okay. If you have a date coming up, don't be nervous about that. You got this. You got this. Because really, dates are all about just connecting with another person. That's what they're about, in my opinion. All right, about to go and feed my spirit, feed my body. I love you guys. I'll talk to you later.